I'm a big deal. You're my friend, I'm a big deal. Yeah, we're kinda important. For real.
Hi guys, it's SherisseRita and welcome back to my YouTube channel. So sorry for not uploading last week, guys. I was a bit unwell and I started a new job, so I was extremely tired. I just didn't get around to recording and editing and everything. This week we're going to go with something a little bit different. Since it's Mental Health Awareness Week, my friend actually suggested that I do a mental health awareness video. I decided just to kind of make it a little bit different and do it with a get ready with me. So I'm just going to do a really basic makeup look. If you're wondering why I'm sat here in my pajamas, it is for the video. Also, excuse my nails, quarantine, working, all of that. I'm sure you guys understand because I bet some of you lots is worse than mine. But yeah, let's kind of just get straight into it. If I'm just looking around a lot, it's because I have my makeup all here. And as I said, I'm going to be doing it with a get ready with me. So yeah, it's going to be interesting or whatever. Let's get into it. So 1 in 4 people within the UK experience mental health each year, which I think is quite interesting because even though that's like a fact or whatever, I feel like everyone doesn't go to the doctors or the hospital or whatever about their mental health. Like, everyone experiences it at some point in their life, whether it's being stressed or under a lot of pressure, depression, things like that. I think everyone experiences mental health at least once in their life. So the fact that it's only 1 in 4, when I read that, surprised me quite a lot, to be honest. But you know, even though 1 in 4 people experience mental health within the UK each year, only 1 in 8 receive treatment. And I believe that when I read it, it said it was more females than males, which again, I think is also quite interesting. However, I feel like that's mainly just because women are more likely to go to their doctors about like mental health problems, if that makes sense. Like, I feel like guys are not more embarrassed, because I don't think mental health should be something to be embarrassed about, but they're less likely to go to their doctors and whatnot if they feel like they have a problem. About half of mental health disorders start from the age of 14. 14, guys. Can you just put that into perspective? 14. When we were 14, like, what was we doing? And like, to think that probably some of our friends were suffering from mental health is a bit crazy. But it's, you know, it's just facts. On top of that, every 40 seconds, one person dies from suicide, which is sad. I just want to talk about like my experience with mental health. I haven't been diagnosed with anything, but I feel like, as I said, everyone experiences some form of mental health once in their life, whether it's for a week, a month, years, whatever. Everyone experiences it. For me, I feel like the most for mine was like me being in negative spaces, trying to get back in the right mindset. I mean, I remember at one point I was in such a bad place. I think my dad thought I was joking, but I literally told my Dad, can you send me to Jamaica? Like, I just wanted to clear my mind and just start a fresh slate, if that makes sense. But, to be honest, I know people who have suffered from like severe anxiety, depression, and things like that. And I just feel like if people feel like they're going through all of these things, even if you don't feel like you're going through it, but you feel like you're in a bad space mentally, just go in and get it checked, because wouldn't you rather your doctor tell you, okay, there's nothing wrong, than you pushing things to the side and later on realising that, okay, like, I have anxiety, I have depression, things like that. And on top of that, I think people don't take mental health as seriously as they should. Like, I remember being younger and like people were just laughing, like, yeah, they're skits. Like, being a schizophrenic is not a joke. These people can't help the things that they're experiencing and that they're going through, and people are out here like making fun of it and stuff. I think people really just need to open their eyes and understand that some of these things that we may laugh and joke about other people's reality, and it's sad, really. Like, you see these videos go around on Instagram and YouTube of these people, like, on the floor, off their heads on drugs and acting just so crazy, and people are standing there recording it, but at the same time, it's not just that they're off drugs, it's they've got something wrong with them and they need help. So, like, rather than just standing there and recording, why don't you call someone, or why don't you try to help? Because at the end of the day, what if that was your mum or your dad or your brother or your auntie, your cousin, your child? Do you know what I mean? And I really feel like people don't put that into perspective enough. I also feel like, low-key, as I said before, or I don't know if I said it before, guys are embarrassed to go to their doctors and stuff because they don't... I don't know. I feel like females would rather know what's wrong, if that makes sense, and males would rather kind of just think that there's nothing wrong. When I was reading up on mental health, I read that obviously it affects more females than males, but at the same time I also feel like that's because males don't go to the doctors like females do, and don't talk about their problems and stuff like that. Like, there's nothing wrong with being diagnosed with a mental health disorder. Like, there's been times I've been in such a bad place, like I've been so stressed and just like literally not even wanting to talk to anyone. And like, me personally, I haven't gone to the doctors about it because I don't feel like I need to. However, I know that if I get to a certain point, I will be like, you know what, Sherisse, okay, maybe you should go to the doctors and see what they say, because you never know, they might even just refer you to like a counsellor or something, and that counsellor might help you 100 times more than you ever thought that they would, if that makes sense. I think it's just simple things like that. Obviously, I know in some people it's harder to like get their problems and whatnot sorted, but at the same time I also think that it's important that people are nice to one another, because you never really know what someone's going through. And like, you could be walking down the street and see someone who looks a bit odd to you, and you can start laughing at them, not knowing that deep down inside they've got anxiety, they're schizophrenic, they've got depression. Do you know what I mean? And like, at the end of the day, you just being nice to them and like not laughing and stuff could make the biggest difference and the biggest change. Because imagine like you've seen someone and you've started laughing at them, not knowing what the problem that they have is, and then they've later on gone and like committed suicide because they heard you laughing at them or something like that. Like, you never know how your words and actions affect people, and I think it's just really important to be kind to people always. And I think it's important that we're all aware of how serious and how common mental health issues are. I mean, I can't lie to you, I've come across a lot of people in my life, and now I look back at it, I think that these people need some serious help, but it's not my place. But at the same time, I hope that they've realised it for themselves, that okay, maybe I'm not alright and maybe I do need a bit of help. Me personally, I think the worst experience I've had is probably like panic attacks and anxiety. It's not nice. And I haven't been, as I said, I haven't been diagnosed with anything. I don't think I have anything. I feel like if it was to get bad, then obviously I would go to the doctors about it and stuff. But at the same time, it's like, imagine all of these people who suffer from like severe anxiety and severe depression, and like half of us don't even know like the basics about it. But there are so many different types of mental health that people are just so unaware of, and it's just like, maybe we should take more time to understand these things. Like, just because we don't suffer from it, and just because like it doesn't affect anyone that's around us personally, doesn't mean we shouldn't know about it, because you never know like what you might wake up and face tomorrow. It might not be with you, it could be with your mum, it could be with your dad, your brother, your sister, your auntie, your uncle. Do you know what I mean? And I just think people need to take more time and more consideration to understand others. Because imagine if it was you and people started treating you like differently or some type of way because you have like a severe mental health disorder. but the only reason why people are treating you differently in some type of way is because they don't understand it and they haven't taken time to understand it. So I do think things such as Mental Health Awareness Week are really important. I just think it's sad, to be honest, how many people like do things such as committing suicide and stuff because they just don't think that people can help them. Like me, I'm the type of person, I will always help someone if I can, in any way, shape or form possible. Like, for me, like, if someone was to message me saying, oh yeah, this, that, and this, that, if I can help you, I will. If I feel like you need help, I will tell you, you need to go and get some help. Do you know what I mean? I will even come with you to get that help. But I just think people really need to take time to understand others a bit more and understand the things that people go through on a day-to-day basis. Imagine being a carer for your parent who is a schizophrenic or who's got Tourette's. Do you know what I mean? Like, these things can't be helped. You know what I mean? So I really do think things such as Mental Health Awareness Week, the Mind charity are really important. Whilst I was doing my research before I started recording this video, I noticed that on the NHS website they have a tab under the mental health bit where you can do a mood check and like a little self-assessment just to see like how you yourself are dealing with certain things. And then I'm guessing at the end of it, if your results match certain things, they will probably advise you on what to do, I'm guessing, because it's the NHS website. I didn't actually do it. I'll probably do it after I record this video, but I think that's really important, to be honest with you. I just think people need to be aware and just know how to treat people. Do you know what I mean? It's things so simple, like, you don't know, like, you're walking down the road and the person who's walking like in the opposite direction to you is suffering from depression, but because you don't know that and you think that the way that they dress is funny, you're laughing at them. And I'm not saying that like I've never done that before. I'm not a saint, I'm not innocent, but I just think, as I keep saying, we need to take time to understand all these little things, because you never know, like, you can make the biggest difference to someone's life. And I really think that if you feel like you're suffering from any kind of mental health, no matter how big, no matter how small, like, I know it's not something to be embarrassed about, but I know some people are really sensitive when it comes to like their mental. Go to the doctors. Like, if your friends and your family don't understand you, then that's up to them, but you need to do it for yourself and you need to make sure that you're okay. I've had multiple friends suffer from anxiety and depression, panic attacks. I've probably known people in my lifetime who are schizophrenic, things like that. Obviously, I don't know all the terminologies. Let me look it up, actually. Obviously, I don't know all the conditions that come under mental health, but there are a lot. And there's so many different charities. You've got Mind, Mental Health Foundation, obviously the NHS, the Samaritans, Rethink Mental Illness, Young Minds, Care for Mental Health. Like, that's just the first ones that came up, like, at the beginning of my search. Yeah, as I said, when you go on the NHS website, I literally typed in like mental health on Google and it comes up with like all the different mental health helplines. So you've got like anxiety, bipolar, the campaign against living miserably, the Men's Health, Mental Health Foundation, Mind, No Panic, OCD Action. That's another thing. People take OCD like it's a joke, and it's actually so serious. Like, people proper suffer from OCD and they just can't help the way that they act towards certain things. What else is there? There's so many different things, and I just think like people just need to take time and understand. Like, I don't think people actually understand how serious things like this are. Not too long ago, a school near me, a little girl in like year 8 actually committed suicide, and it's like, imagine being that young and just knowing that you just don't want to be here anymore. It's just sad to know that people go through such hardships, especially at such a young age. Like, when I heard about that, it broke me, really, because imagine being like, what, 14, and deciding, like, you know what, I'm just not happy in this life that I'm living, and I don't want to be here anymore. Like, it's crazy. And I know, like, obviously people go through abuse, mental abuse, physical abuse, like, things like that, yeah. But just imagine being so unhappy at that age that you know, I'm gonna kill myself, like, I don't want to be here anymore. It's sad. That's why I try my hardest to be kind always. And like, if you have me on Snapchat, you'll see that I have said that before. Just be kind always, because you never know what another person's going through. Unless it's you, you're not gonna know, and you're not gonna understand. Do you know what I mean? Like, and it's crazy because you're not gonna know, and you're not gonna understand, and you're not gonna take the time to know and understand, like, what someone else is going through. And I think it's important that, like, people really be there for their friends during this pandemic. Like, people are like, oh, this pandemic is really showing you who's there for you and who's not. No, hun, no, that is not the case. Like, this pandemic is really hard on a lot of people. Like, it's bringing out the bad in people, and it's not just that. It's like, people are going through shit, and when this pandemic wasn't in place, they were able to do pretty much like whatever they wanted. And then since we've gone into lockdown, it's like they've got nothing. They need to be in their house 24/7, and for them that's not good. Do you know what I mean? So I just really think people need to consider others more. It is important. It is really important, because we don't want any more young people to die because of mental health. Like, we don't. That's not what we want. And even though you might not have experienced mental health at this point in time, like when you're watching this video, people go through it at all different stages. Like, if you're a male or even a female, like after you've had a baby or after your partner's had a baby, they might have postnatal stress disorder, or whatever it's called. I shouldn't say whatever it's called, or whatever the name for it is, because I don't know the proper name. But listen, let me tell you, that is some serious stuff. That postnatal depression is serious, and I feel like people don't understand it. But that can proper make you crazy, mate. Proper, to the point where I'm pretty sure in the past people have lost their kids over postnatal depression. Like, that can affect people so badly. It's sad. It's sad. And in some of the cases with it, people don't even know what it is. So they're experiencing it, and they don't even know that they're experiencing it. So when they're experiencing it, they're probably thinking, okay, yeah, this is normal. I'm just, going through some things, trying to adjust to motherhood, etc., etc. Meanwhile, they're going through a whole phase that they can seek help for, but because they don't know what it is, they don't know to seek help for it. And I think that's really sad, to be honest with you, because, as I said, people lose their kids over things like that, because you start to become crazy. And if you become crazy, they're going to say you're not fit to look after your child. Do you know what I mean? And obviously I don't wish that upon anyone, but I think people just really need to be so aware of all these different things. Like, people think it's nothing. It's not nothing. It's actually not nothing. Like, that these kind of things hit people, and they hit people hard. So you need to just understand. Even PTSD, like, everyone just jokes about PTSD. It's not a joke. Like, the way it actually affects some people drives them crazy. And then you've got people, like, I'm not being funny, like, I listen to their music and stuff, but people like G.R.W.M trying to turn PTSD into a trend. It's not a trend. It's a real life thing that people have to experience, and they've got to live through it. But yeah, I feel like these celebrities just make it into certain things into like such a, well, they try to make it into such a trend, and things like PTSD, it's not a trend. Like, people real life go through these things and it haunts them, and it haunts them for years. And then you've got like all these young kids out here saying, yeah, I've got PTSD. You don't have PTSD, you don't. You just want to be in with what they've tried to make a trend, and meanwhile other people are out here suffering from it, like real life suffering from it. And yeah, I'll be thinking it's a trend. It's just like, as I said, like the word schizophrenic. They're schizo. Like, I remember being younger and everyone was like, yeah, they're schizo. And then some girl and you actually turned around and goes, you know, that's not funny, like my mum's a schizophrenic. And I was like, wow, like, and until that moment I didn't actually know what a schizophrenic was. I didn't know it was a mental illness, because people talk about certain things just so freely, like it's not even a big deal. It's ridiculous. But people be suffering and going through these things. It's torturing them and haunting them for years and years and years and years and years in their lives. And then we've got these people trying to make it into something that it's not, trying to make it into a trend, and it's not a trend. So I guess the moral of this video today is kind of just to say, like, guys, mental health is a real thing, and if you suffer from mental health, keep fighting. Like, you are not alone. There's so many other people out there, whether you know it or not. There's so many other people out there going through the same or similar stuff as you. And you know what? It might seem hard now, and you might feel like, I'm never going to get through it, but you will. It's a constant battle between, like, your mind and yourself. But when the time is right, you will get to a place where you need to be, or you will beat this thing that's trying to fight you, and you will come out on the other side, and you would have won, and you'll be a better person for it, you know? You'll be stronger mentally, physically, all of it. You will be. But it's just about people taking time to understand all these things that are going on, and stop trying to make it seem cool, because it's not cool. It's not. People real life go through these things, and even though you may not understand it, take time to understand it. Take time to understand it, because it's important. And I hope that, like, you guys don't have to go through mental health and stuff. Like, as I said, I've never experienced it to an extent where, like, I've had to go to the doctors for it. But at one point in someone's life, they experience some kind of mental health. As I said, stress, depression, anxiety, OCD, bipolar, things like that. But it's just important people are aware of these different things going on. Just take time to be kind to others always, because imagine if it was someone in your family, you wouldn't want people to be rude to them. Do you know what I mean? If it was you, imagine how shitty you would feel if, like, people were laughing after you and you don't even know these people, and they don't even know what you've gone through in life as to why you are how you are. So I just think it's really important. And things such as Mental Health Awareness Week, they really do make people aware of what's going on. So guys, just take time, do your research, just make sure you understand, and don't be selfish. Don't just think, okay, well, I'm not affected by it, so I don't care, or no one around me is affected by it, so I don't care. That's not the case. You should care, because you never know what the future holds, and you never know what's going to happen. So guys, Mental Health Awareness Week, take time to learn something new and understand something different. It's important. Thank you for taking time to watch. By the way, my tracksuit is from Vlour. I will, excuse the foam in my hands, but I will put some links down below for helplines. Even if you feel like you guys just need someone to talk to Samaritans, my DMs are always open. My socials are normally there, so, you know, don't hesitate to contact me. Snapchat, message me, DM me on Insta, DM me on Twitter. Like, I'm happy to listen and talk to people. Obviously, I'm not an expert, so I can't help people probably how they'll need to be helped, but I'm more than happy to listen and give my own personal advice. Like, if I've been in that situation, I'll be more than happy to like kind of just tell you guys, okay, well, I overcame it by doing this, that and the other kind of a thing. But guys, you've got this. Mental health is real. Mental health is important. Take care of your mental. If you feel like you're going through things but it's not as serious to a point where you need to go to a doctor, talk to your friends, talk to your family, write it down. There are a lot of apps on the App Store that might be able to help your mental. I think there's one called Calm or something. Either way, everything that I've mentioned, such as the helplines, the apps, my socials, I'll put down in the description link below. I'll put the link for the website of where I got my tracksuit from in the description box below as well. I hope you guys have a good week, and I hope that, you know, you guys take time to learn something new, and just remember to be kind to people always, because you never know what someone's going through and how big your words might have an impact on them, how it might affect them. You never know, like, you could just like laugh at someone's outfit and they might go home and decide like, wow, that's so horrible of someone to have done to me, and they might just go home and cry about it. Like, you never know. So just be kind always, guys. Thank you for watching. I'll be back next week with another video. Take care of your mental health. Sometimes, that's another thing, guys. Sometimes people go to school and don't realise how much school or work or college or university or whatever it may be, how much it actually affects their mental health. Take the time out that you need to, and if your school, work, college, universities, they don't understand, you just have to explain it to them. Obviously get a doctor's note, things like that, but it is important that you take some time out for yourself and get back to the right place, get back to where you need to be. Thank you so much, guys. Have a good week, and I'll see you guys again next week. Bye.
Ask anybody, boy. I'm a